To start, we are going to have our distinguished panel tell us a little bit about how they do work across generations, how they divide some of their responsibilities, and how that influences their farming operations. And Ken, if you can get us started.
Okay, thank you, Becky. Really appreciate this opportunity to be here. I was here last year and got to meet some of you, but to me, the media and the way we get our information is just critical. So back to the way I've grown up, my wife and I are nearing our retirement, and when Brad came back from college, I made the promise to him that I wouldn't be around just barking orders and making sure he did it right. So I've always felt really important that we give back some of the things that the good things that happened to me, because a lot of people helped me get started, did some nice things for me, and I think it's really important that we do that for the next generation. So with that, when I became president of the National Corn Growers Association, it was kind of trial by fire for Brad. I think he'd been back like three years out of college, and I was gone 200 days that year, and average of 100 on top of each of those other years. So he learned pretty quick, and I had a lot of confidence that he would be able to do that. But it was a forced transition, and it really helped both of us, I think. We did a lot of texting and emails, and a lot of, I only remember a couple of big panic situations, but it's that base that carries us into the transition today that I wouldn't say I'll be not farming in 5 years, but we're not going to be farming very much. And I think it's important for him to know that he can count on that happening. And so what my wife and I have done is, as part of our estate, we've done the trust issues, and we've done that, but we've also formed a limited partnership, and that will give he and his sister Tracy confidence to know that this is there, it's been taken care of, but it may not be the total way it ends up. But if Mary and I were to not come home someday from a plane crash, at least we know those things are set up there, and a judge won't be dictating what happens. Technology's played a big part in our operation, and I think Brad knows a whole lot more about that than I do, but I've always been real accepting of that. So as Becky said, we have two entities. Each of us do business separately. I think it's really important, my dad stressed this too, that young people risk their own money. There's a lot more reward to that, plus you build your own equity. You don't have to share it with anybody else as you go except your own personal family. So that's some of the things we've lived by, and I think, you know, going down the road, they're really important things. So thank you. Brett.
Oh, I think you're wrong. Sorry. I think one of the biggest things to touch on the two entities, it really gives me my own chance to make my own decisions, to run my own company, but yet we're doing everything day to day together. We're owning all our equipment together, but having those two separate entities allows us a lot more freedom to to do our own business, and I guess really with our own immediate families, and that's something that we've done ever since right after I got out of college, and it really helped me to to do my own thing. But having the availability of farming everything together gives us a lot more, I guess, leverage to purchasing power, inputs, machinery, and that's something that those decisions are made together, and that's just it's really worked out well for us to each keep our own, I guess, individual businesses, but yet just have the power, I get purchasing power of it.
Very good. Kathy and Chris?
Is it on? Something very similar. My husband and I have been married 40 years. So we've kind of tossed a lot of ideas around and everything. But when the boys, we'd always planned to be farming. And we started out, Gary and I started out in a partnership with his family. That didn't work as well as we'd like for it to, so we decided to go out and be independent. And we thought the things that we learned from the former partnership that we had, we didn't want to do that to our sons. partnerships can work or they may not work as well. So we didn't want to have them indebted to our operation. We wanted them to have the independence to do what they wanted. And we, brought them along. We had them go to school. We had them, go outside of our business and see what it was like to do something independently before they decided what they really wanted to do and form their future, their careers on it. Not just a job, but a career. What did they want to do with the rest of their lives? And they both chose that they wanted to be a part of the operation. So we kind of centered around, and maybe you could say we formed what we would call the wagon wheel, and we were the kind of the hub. And they formed their businesses outside that all kind of works off of the hub. But they're independent in their own right. They can do their own thing with their own purchases. They can have their own equity and that type of thing. And their families, can all be a part of that. So that's kind of the way we wanted to see our sons be able to progress and go forward with whatever they chose to do. So yes, they are a part of it. Kevin and Chris, they have their part. They own their part of their land. They have their own part of the livestock. They have some crop. Gary and I don't have that part. Kyle has his part of our operation mainly is the trucking, the transportation of both the feed and grains as well as the livestock that we transport. So that's kind of where we kind of let that rest, and they can do whatever they wish to do beyond that. And so they have some independence as well as we all are part of this together. So.
And I'm the dreaded in-law. But Gary and Kathy was an in-law before in a farming partnership. And the one thing that I had made very clear to me when I came into the family is that I was an equal. I was not an outlaw because I was the in-law. And so Gary and Kathy embraced me just like their own daughter. And Kathy went on a 3-week trip, 3 months after Kevin and I got married. It was part of the ALOT program, the ALOT, or Future Leaders of Tomorrow is what that is. And Kathy handed over the family farm checkbook to me. And when she came back home, she didn't want it back. And so that's kind of how I evolved into the family operation. I take care of all the finances for the farm and for the feed mill, and I also take care of all the production records as well. I also try to do social media for the family farm to try and put the face of agriculture out there for people. Gary and Kathy knew right away that if we were going to be a family farm, that we needed to have all family members involved in it. And so that's why they embraced me, brought me in, gave me the freedom to do what I needed to do financially for the operation, computer programs, bring technology back to the family farm. Kathy and Gary like to say that they are not computer friendly. They are. They just choose not to use them any more than they have to. So that's where the younger generation has played an important role in our family farm operation, and we're hoping that the 6th generation is going to come back home to the farm and show mom